All right, welcome to our webinar. We're going to talk about foundational wellness today with doTERRA. I have a little bit of experience with doTERRA, you could say, over 10 years here, but what we're going to talk about tonight is fairly new. It's actually been a new product for, I guess, about a year. And a lot of us have been seeing really great results with it. And then, of course, just finding it really easy to implement into our daily routine. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of that a little bit. And then, of course, hopefully you'll have some questions that you can pass over our way, and we can go over those too at the end. So I'm Brittany. Let me start with that. I'm Brittany. Let's see, I'm Brittany. I live in Mississippi, and I am here by way of Angela's mom. She's the one that introduced me to doTERRA a long, long time ago, back in 2014, coming up on, I guess, 11 years. And yeah, it's just been really revolutionary for my life to have tools available at my fingertips without having to really do much additional research or additional shopping other than what I already have sort of in my medicine cabinet, if you will. So we're going to kind of get into some of that. And then, of course, if we have any testimonials that we want to share amongst our crowd here, we can get into that too. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a screen sharing presentation, and then just kind of go into it. Feel free to drop questions, comments in the chat, and then we will answer those at the end because I probably won't be able to see all of that once we get to the end. So before we go into the slideshow, I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of things that you will have access to in the recording. I'll put these links in the chat. So this is a page that we have that just kind of reviews some of what we've talked about and then has a section for you to put in some notes. And then this one is if we were in person, which we love to do in-person events, this is the handout that we would give you, like physical paper printed, that you could also use to reference what we're talking about. And then, of course, take your own notes. So those will be linked, but for now, let's just get into the slideshow. All right. So let me make that a little smaller here. Okay, so the theme of this webinar is wellness made simple. And to me, that's the whole theme of doTERRA. This particular line of products that we're going to be talking about is called the foundational wellness. And we will talk about this being the foundation to your health throughout the class. So let's see if I can get this slideshow to work. There we go. So everything that we're going to discuss today, you just kind of take comfort knowing that it is proven and science backed, meaning there has been a lot of research that's gone into this, and a lot of people have experienced these products and come back to say, wow, that was working really well for me, and I want to, keep doing it, keep experiencing these benefits. And we have an entire research team that literally has been doing a lot of science-backed research for these products to be as effective as they are. All right, so it all starts with how we feel. I feel, and I assume a lot of people feel, very overwhelmed by all of the information, not only the amount of information, but how often it contradicts. You'll hear this, and then from somewhere else, you'll hear something that basically says the opposite. It's very frustrating and, of course, overwhelming, and oftentimes leads to us just not doing anything because we feel overwhelmed. So we're going to hopefully mitigate some of that so that you don't feel quite like this about at least one area of your life, which is your health and how you take care of yourself. So this really kind of summarizes why I'm so passionate about things like essential oils and natural products, is because it kind of allows you to filter out some of the noise and just focus on what we already know and understand. So here we go. This is the main event. This is the whole showstopper right here. So the good news is there's definitely a better way than all of the overwhelm and contradictory information that allows you to just take care of yourself and not be complicated. I love this little list of reasons why doTERRA is more than just essential oils. Personally, I came to doTERRA for the oils. I was using the health food store brand because I thought If the oils are trusted, if this brand is trusted by the health food store, they've already done the research. I don't need to worry about it. It's good enough. And then I got an opportunity to try the product and actually smell the doTERRA versus the other brand. And I could definitely tell that this was on a whole other level. The bottles were smaller, but yet more expensive, which was confusing to me until I smelled it. And I could tell there was a lot more of what was supposed to be in the bottle, as opposed to filler that made the bottle bigger but didn't leave it smelling the same. So to me, doTERRA is the key to creating a healthy home. It's a trusted source for daily wellness, and of course, confidence in my ability to support and nourish myself. And it all goes back to that foundation for a life well lived. So here we go. We've got the science-backed approach that takes the guesswork out of wellness, and you're not wasting money anymore on supplements sitting in a drawer that you don't use because you don't feel like they're doing anything because they're not absorbing. And then, of course, no more wondering if you're getting the right nutrients. We're going to kind of clear the clouds on that and let you know exactly what you're getting and how much of it you're getting so that you can take confidence that you're not just allowing it to pass through your body, basically. So think of everything in terms of foundational. Just like if you were building a house, if you don't start with a solid foundation, the house isn't going to be very good. It's eventually going to have cracks and leaks and things like that. But also, if you think about it, when you have a house that's already been built and it starts to have problems, a lot of times you have to look at the foundation and repair the foundation. It may literally mean filling cracks to get the foundation to be solid. So you can think of the VMG kind of like that. It allows you to build your foundation and then solidify your foundation. So wherever you're at in your journey with your health, this is a good place to kind of bring all of that in together and strengthen at the foundation. So I love this. It takes about 2 minutes a day to consume this little trio of products. One is a powder that you literally put it in water and drink it. It's green, but it tastes delicious. It has like kind of a pineapple-y flavor, and it's all made from food. So your body actually knows how to utilize everything in it. And then, of course, I love the fact that it's not a pill that's been sitting on a shelf for who knows how long, sitting there going bad. It's in an individually sealed packet that allows you to sort of take advantage of the fact that it's sealed and airtight and all of that and make it active in your body like as though it was just grown. So it takes about 2 minutes a day and it will fortify your health and it will support every other decision you make that day. And supporting a strong foundation will reduce or eliminate the struggles you're currently experiencing throughout the day. So it's all about that foundation. So here's a little clue as to why it works. Not only because I talked about how easy it is, it's a very sustainable habit that you can implement. It takes a couple of minutes. It's not like you have to remember to take a pill in the morning, take another one in the middle of the day, and take another one at the end of the day. I've tried that route and I forget a lot, which means I end up with supplements that either don't get used or, if they do, not right after I bought them, it could be months later, they're not as fresh. So it's not just about taking them, it's about getting them into your routine. And then, of course, science is at the core. It's two main factors that make it so effective. One is bioavailability, and then one is bioretention. And so the gist of what that means, bioavailability means it's available for your body to absorb, not like stuff that just passes through your system, which basically is like, the most expensive pee you can have is a vitamin that you take and then you pee it out. So it's bioavailable, meaning you're not just going to pass it through, you're actually going to absorb it. And then bioretention means not only do you absorb it, your body can use it. It's actually not flooding your system with a bunch of stuff that's just going to have to work hard to eliminate. Your body takes it all in, uses it all, and then you go on about your life. So we have three basic options here. We're going to call them good, better, and best. So a good foundation would be just doing the VMG. That's that little powder packet here. I have one right here. Looks like this. This, I could put it in my purse. I have them in my backpack. I have them everywhere. The only place I don't leave them is my car because it's really hot where I live. almost all the time. But otherwise, I have them sprinkled here, there, and everywhere. Just in case I forget, I'm able to remember on the fly and then just take it right then. As long as I have some chill water, not even cold, but just not hot water, it works really well and it tastes good. As long as the water is a little bit cool, it tastes really good. So we have our daily dose of vitamins, minerals, and greens, plus there's essential oils in there that just help with that deliverability. So it's delicious and it's easy and it has liposomal delivery to your body. And liposomal, I believe, means like that it's able to go through like the barriers in your body that would normally prevent something from being absorbed. This is designed to be absorbed by the body fully. This is how all of the supplements are going to be made in the future. So we have 4.1 times vitamin C for better bioavailability compared to non-liposomal vitamin C, 5.4 times better bioavailability of vitamin E than non-liposomal vitamin E. And then with iron, it's 6.3 times better bioavailability, that word, bioavailability. With calcium, 4.1 times, not 4.1%, because I almost just said that, 4.1 times better bioavailability. So if normally it's 100%, this is going to be 400% times the bioavailability. And then potassium, which is super important, one and almost 1.5 times better bioavailability. And then, of course, it stays in the body active for 8 hours in your bloodstream. So, you might want to use it at a time of day where you're going to need that 8 hours of extra kind of gusto. You can take it right before bed if you want, but you're not going to get that like sort of naturally energizing. I don't want to say that word because some people are a little scared of things that are energizing because it's not really like that. But if you don't have any food in your day versus if you eat, you're going to have more energy if you eat versus if you don't. So it's kind of like that. If you want to take full advantage of it, it's recommended that you take it earlier in the day. All right. And then better, of course, this is if you want to step it up another level. This is that for me, this is the baseline. I won't go lower than these two. It's going to be adding omegas to your routine. It's pretty much 100% of everybody in the United States that's not taking an omega supplement is seeing a shortage of those types of nutrients in their body. So we have the best omega-3 fatty acids that you can get. They come from the cold Nordic seas, and then we add wild orange essential oil to the omegas to maximize absorption and of course help with the flavor. What I love about this is there's no trace of fish flavor at all. Like you can't detect it. Even people who are like, "Oh, I can't do fish. Can't do fishy." They can't taste any fishy. And I'm so confident in that I have given it to people and told them to bite into the pill because you're gonna taste it, right? You're going to taste it. If you bite it, you're gonna taste it. And they're all 100% of the times have been pleased with the flavor. And I actually have somebody who prefers to chew on it as opposed to just taking the pill. He can take pills, but he likes the way it tastes enough that he's like, no, I just want to chew it. So I think that's awesome and very unique. So a little bit more about the omega. It has proven that it can decrease diastolic blood pressure and then decrease the resting heart rate. And these are things that a lot of people who have concerns or family history of any kind of heart health issue, this to me is a must. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. I see at the top it says increased omega-3 levels. That's the main omega that we're all so short on. We just have very little of that provided to us through our diet. All right. And then here we go. This is the best. This is the trio. I recommend that everybody do this. This is the trio that I do. And every now and then I'll skip the PB Restore, but I don't really have a good reason other than being cheap. Sometimes I want to save that $25. So best meaning it has the VMG plus, the Omega plus, and the PB Restore. So it's the best foundation you can lay for your health and of course your future self will thank you. So adding the PB Restore addresses the gut microbiome. And you might not know this, Probably do. The majority of your feel-good chemicals, most people think that's made in their brain, but it actually is generated in your stomach, in your microbiome. And 80% of your immune function also comes from your microbiome. So whether you know it or not, the way you feel, the way you fight sickness, the way you fight bad moods and all of that, it starts in your gut. So to me, this is a no-brainer for everybody. Let's see. And then of course gut health is foundational health. It's part of the whole. So let's talk a little bit about the probiotic just so that you can have a better understanding of what makes this probiotic different from other probiotics. Even the other probiotics that doTERRA has, this one is unique. It has all four categories of probiotic related components. Obviously, the first one is going to be the actual postbiotic strain. This is what most people think of when they're taking a probiotics, just that first one. But we've also got 24 probiotic strains and prebiotic fiber, which I'm not going to get into the details of it, but the gist is the prebiotic fiber feeds the probiotic. So you get more benefit of it in real time because it's digesting the prebiotic and proliferating even more inside your body. You cannot get more bioavailable than that. And then, of course, something new that I think is just incredible. It's very unique doTERRA actually has 4 bacteriophages in this. And basically, I'm not going to get into the complications of it because I'm not a scientist, but basically, those are the good viruses, if you will, or the good bacteria, if you will, in the body that the body might run into viruses that need this to fight that virus or to fight that bacteria. I know it probably doesn't make a ton of sense, but read into it and you'll be fascinated. Okay, so we have the 3 options. I'll remind you, we have good, better, and best. So you have level 1, level 2, level 3. 1 product, 2 products, or all 3 products. Kind of up to you to choose your own adventure there, but at a minimum, I would recommend the better for sure. And I think everybody needs the probiotic as well. It's actually way cheaper if you order it as part of this bundle, as opposed to it being, I think, like $40, it drops it down to like 25. And then the same thing for the Omega. If you bought it individually versus if you bought it part of the bundle, you get a much better value out of it. So why we have this kit and why it works is because there's no guesswork. It's very simple. You're not trying to remember which pills you're taking when and all of that kind of complications. And then, of course, you actually get results. You feel it in your body, in your mood, in your day, your energy, your soreness. You respond better to life when you have stuff like this on deck. And then, of course, it's easy to follow. You can literally just get up in the morning. I like to drink a glass of water when I first wake up. So to me, this is a habit that I've stacked with brushing my teeth. Brush my teeth, go drink my glass of water, take my pills. And it doesn't get skipped because guess what? I brush my teeth every day. All right. And then let's go to some of the additional things that you can take advantage of with doTERRA, but also get a discount on with bundling. So we have a collagen supplement. I'll be honest, I love the idea of collagen, but I've been hesitant to really sink my teeth into any of these because of all the mixed reviews. And then along came doTERRA with a perfect solution. So we have Meta Power Advantage. I love this because it's not just a typical collagen supplement that has like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 strains of collagen. We've got 9 different types of collagen. It's unheard of. It really is. So that's a little bit here about some of the things that are in it. And then, of course, I'm going to go over this. It helps collagen in general, promotes healthy biological aging and improves health spans. Of course, we're talking about specific types of collagen. Not all of them are very easy to absorb or at all absorbing. It helps to improve cognitive function. Most people think of collagen as being like good for their skin, but it's actually phenomenal for your brain as well. And it supports lean muscles and connective tissue. So if you're active at all, your body is constantly having to work at this to generate and maintain healthy muscles and connective tissue. So this is a food that specifically does that in the form of a supplement. And then, of course, like I said, improves skin elasticity and firmness. So the next slide is going to be a little bit more details about what is in the MetaPower Advantage supplement, the collagen. So if you want to take a screenshot of this and maybe read over it a little bit later to get some details here, there's a lot to research here if you want to, but this was just meant to be kind of an overview. And then if you want to dig in, it gives you a starting point of where to dig in. So we have a lot of different things going on here, but I'll just kind of roll through them. We have phytoceramides, that's with the cellular aging. Liposomal vitamin C, we kind of talked about that earlier. Biotin, this is one that I get in a few different ways, but this is where I get the majority of my biotin. I don't take a separate biotin supplement. I just get it right here. And then, of course, it's also featured in like the VMG a little bit. Hyaluronic acid, a lot of people are putting this topically on their skin, but you can actually get a lot of benefit from taking it internally. NADH, it's it's just a chemical kind of compound. It's not one that I know much about, so I'm not going to pretend like I can talk about it in detail. This is one that I'm learning about a lot, the NMN, or I don't even think I'm going to try to say that. Mononucleotide. I can say that word, but nicotinamide, maybe. So that one, this supplement may help increase that in the body. Of course, this is all based on pre-clinical studies, and we're working towards having actual clinical studies as well. Rose apple fruit extract. I know what the heck is a rose apple. I don't know, but it's pretty. And it's an antioxidant. We have sea buckthorn fruit extract, and then resveratrol. Now, this is one I do know a little bit about. This is one that helps with your blood in general. I believe it is the arteries and the veins and things like that, the tissue that makes up the actual vein or artery is greatly improved in its ability to flex with your life with resveratrol. So this is also going to be really common in things like omega supplements. Um, Now we have the MetaPower Metabolic Blend. This is going to be some of the essential oils that help with the cravings and, of course, help to reduce fat cell growth, meaning they don't multiply and they don't grow to be bigger fat cells as easily. MetaPower is a whole line that has oils, supplements, a bunch of things. I'm not going to get into that, but there's a lot to learn there with that one. And then we have the marine collagen. This is the actual collagen that comes from the fish. And then the last one is the red orange fruit extract. So all of these come together to give your body a lot of power when it comes to making the collagen actually absorb. Another thing that's really cool about this one is it's activated by putting it in the water. So a lot of collagen sitting on the shelf, it's aging, it has to go through the distribution process. It sits in a truck, it may get hot, a lot of that kind of stuff going on with the collagen industry. You're able to bypass all of those concerns because it comes in a packet. It's in a powder form that's been, I can't think of the right word, nano something, where they made it where it's activated by being made mixed with water. So you get the full benefit because you're going to take it, you're going to mix it with water and then take it immediately. Like I wouldn't even let it sit there for 15 minutes. Take it right then and you get 100% of the benefit. Okay, now for a couple of testimonials here. I actually know some of these people. They're like bigger up in doTERRA land, but we have Dr. Tina and then Kayla Monson. I'm pretty familiar with both of them. I'm not sure I've met Mary Weaver, but I know who she is. And so I trust these testimonials a lot, in addition to the fact that I have my own experiences with them. So we're talking about things like energy, mental clarity, and keeping up with your kids, right? Feeling like yourself again, that kind of stuff. For me, this is a really powerful example of why I like it. It's a simple routine. It's exactly what I needed to feel like I was taking control of my health without feeling overwhelmed. It's so true. And then, of course, this one's talking about sleeping better, feeling less stressed, and then just feeling like it made a difference in your daily life. Because that's really what we're looking to do. We want you to feel like this is something that is changing your life for the better in a real way. That's how we make lifelong customers, right? Okay, so a little bit about what you can expect. You're going to see more energy, better digestion, clearer thinking and focus. I can confirm that one. Improved sleep. I can confirm that one. And then, of course, balanced mood and less stress. Any of this should all lead to each benefit, right? If you have more energy, you're probably going to think clearer and be in a better mood and have better sleep. And then, of course, less stress, which means better digestion. So it's kind of like this cyclical effect that it all helps each other to where ultimately overall you just feel better. All right. So a lasting, sustainable solution. I've said this a bunch of times, but this is an easy routine, which makes it easier to be consistent. And then, of course, these are products that people reorder, which means that they're going to see long-term benefits. And then, of course, if you're doing this as a business, hopefully you see a more stable business because of having products that not only work, but that people need to order again, as opposed to, if I sell you a cup, you got a cup. You don't need another cup unless you want another cup that looks just like that cup, or you're really not going to come back to me for your cup. Okay, so this is where we go back to that foundation. I would love to have this house, especially if it's on a solid foundation, right? So it's all about having that first step done right that ultimately leads to all of these other things going better. So we start everything with nutrition and digestion. What you eat, what do they say? You are what you eat. You're also could say you are what you digest, right? You can eat stuff and then just pass it along and not absorb it. So it's not really generating new cells for your body. It's really just, you were allowing it to move through your body. And then once you have that kind of solid where you're absorbing really good things, digesting, processing, gaining benefits, then you can look into things that can be built on that, like movement and metabolism, because ultimately you're not going to feel your best unless your movement is happening consistently and your metabolism is functioning well. Same thing with rest and manage stress. If you have that part of your life in order, the rest of it seems to work a lot better. Reducing toxicity is a good point for a lot of people to get started because it's kind of something that they're seeing, in their surroundings, and they want to mitigate those, especially younger people who don't necessarily feel like they have these other challenges. That's where I started. I just wanted to not use toxic products. But the reality is I'm only going to get the full benefit of reducing my toxicity with all of these other things working as well. And then, of course, we have informed self-care. This is when we have an issue come up that we weren't necessarily expecting. And so we have to inform ourselves on how to take care of ourselves. And doTERRA really does have a lot to offer in that area. It's a different class, but of course, the ultimate sort of building block is proactive medical care. doTERRA doesn't really touch that, at least not yet, but it is an element of the whole person. You still also may need to seek medical care. And we're not trying to pretend like that's not part of the story. So, one thing we haven't really talked about are the oils. doTERRA is an essential oil company. You might not know that our number one selling product is not an essential oil, it's the VMG. It's amazing. But what's cool is doTERRA wants you to get the benefit of not only using supplements, foundational wellness, but also maximizing the benefits of those things by pairing it with essential oils, because you're actually going to get a lot more benefit from your supplements by using oils. And then, of course, like we've been talking about, you're going to get a lot more benefit from your oils by having a good foundational supplement. So doTERRA is going to try to take care of you on both sides. So if you start with the VMG on a monthly order, meaning this is something that if it works well for you, you're going to keep ordering it. You check a little box saying, yes, I'd like to get this next month. Of course, you can cancel or change your mind at any time up until the day that processes. What they're going to do, if you specifically start with one of these foundational wellness bundles, they're going to give you a free oil every month that you order that for the whole first year, so that by the time you're done, you have every oil here on the screen. When you first start, they're also going to give you a bottle of peppermint. So that first month that you start, if you have the foundational bundle, they're going to give you two oils. So like this month you would get peppermint and deep blue. And I'm guessing next month you would get, if it's your first time ordering it, you would get peppermint and digestin, and then so on and so forth. I'm not sure if they're in order, but these are the 12 or 13 oils that you would get for your first year. So the essential oils are known for enhancing your daily wellness routine and empowering you to support specific needs. So we have this that's more of a general all over wellness, and then you have all of these other targeted solutions that you can use in addition. So having effective tools like essential oils at your fingertips will allow you to nurture your body every day. So you have either certain things that you just want to be part of your routine, and then of course you have the option of reaching for more solutions when you have more needs. So now you can expand your collection of our most popular essential oils for free. Love it. All right. So now let's talk about a little bit of the morning routine here. So it goes beyond your morning routine and allows you to make better choices throughout the day, choices that ultimately do matter a whole lot. And that's where the oils can help you to, mitigate some of those things as they come up. So a little bit about the why it works. Essential oils add an extra layer of support to your daily wellness routine. They work alongside your supplements to help you feel your best. And then, of course, doTERRA removes the guesswork by sending a new foundational oil each month for the first 12 months. So, for those of us who want every oil but feel a little bit overwhelmed, this is perfect because you get one oil a month and you can really dive into, sink your teeth into that one oil. And then, if you want to get more, you now have been empowered not only because you've learned about it, you've used it, you have an account, you're set up, ready to go. And all you have to do is just make that decision, take that action. And of course, ask for help if you have questions, and we're here. So, all you have to do to get started and end up with all of this is start with a wellness bundle, and then you get a free oil every month for the first year. So, a little bit about the oils that I think are really important before we talk about specific benefits of specific oils. Let's talk about testing. So, these days, for the last like 10 or so years, essential oils have become so popular that I've literally seen them on the shelves at Best Buy. In my opinion, Best Buy doesn't have any business selling essential oils, but they see an opportunity to make a couple bucks, they're going to take it. But I'm not going to buy essential oils from Best Buy because I don't trust Best Buy with my health. I am going to go where I know the quality is there. So to me, that's doTERRA. We have CPTG, which stands for Certified Pure Tested Grade. And basically, it just literally means every liter of oil, meaning a liter, like think of like a vodka bottle, every liter of oil is tested to ensure that it's pure, which means it's totally sourced from nature, undiluted, no fillers, no additives, no specific things that, we know to look for, like things that are used to make synthetic peppermint. They actually look for those things to make sure they're not in there. So we're looking for a very specific chemical profile. And then, of course, you can check the website sourcetoyou.com with some of the bottles. If I had one handy, I'd show you. But any of the oils that are single oil, like peppermint, as opposed to like a blend of oils, it's going to have a batch test that you can actually look at. Go to sourcetoyou.com, you punch in the little number on the bottom of the bottle, and it'll give you that test. So one thing that you want to always kind of bear in mind is that essential oils are more powerful than herbs. So I can kind of tell you some of the different amounts. Like I know a bottle of lemon is around 75 lemons in it. 3 pounds of peppermint leaves go into one 15 ml bottle of peppermint oil. We have a cool little statistic that we like to share here about this one. If you were to take 1 drop of peppermint oil, say you had an upset stomach, put that on your tummy or drink that or put it in a cup of water, you're going to get the same amount of benefit and the same amount of peppermint that would have been able to make 28 cups of tea. That's from 1 drop of essential oil of peppermint. I don't know about you, but I'm not going anywhere drinking 28 cups of tea. That's never going to happen. That might actually make me feel worse. But I'm definitely interested to put one drop of some smell good peppermint on my tummy or in my mouth whenever I feel a little nausea or anything like that. And I've heard countless stories about people who were doing things, living their life, and then all of a sudden they feel a wave of nausea come on and they can't do anything about it because they're literally in the middle of whatever they're doing. So they reach for their little peppermint beadlets or their peppermint oil, put that on, and then it just disappears. It's amazing. I love it. Okay, so talk about peppermint. It's cooling to the body and it's highly supportive of both respiratory and digestive function when consumed. So let's talk about consumption of oils a little bit. You see here where it says A, T, and I. That stands for aromatic, topical, and internal, meaning you can take this all three of the ways. Oh, what just happened? I don't know. Somehow I ended up at the end of the presentation. I don't know how that happened. We'll
I
just
think down at the bottom, there should be a menu. Take your cursor down to the bottom,
okay.
and there might be a menu to then go back. Is that
Mm,
right? Lower left.
I'm just gonna keep going.
You'll come full circle. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I have no idea what just happened. Oh, here we go. There it is. Ooh, there we go. I think we're probably no, sorry. Wish there was a pause button.
You're just being human.
Yep. That's so weird though.
That's a thing, being human.
Oh yeah.
Yes. There we go. I just saw lemon and lavender.
Okay, now I feel like I'm going in circles because I've definitely seen some of these already.
So yeah, hold on. Go back down to the numbers.
You're
I think
going
you
the
might have
wrong
gone a
direction.
direction.
Yeah. So go to 31. Yep. And then we just have to go back. Yeah. There you go. You got it, girl.
All right. Yep, that's weird. I feel like I did that a bunch of times, but um yeah, weird. But here we are, back at it. And then it did it again. Okay, that time it was just doing its thing. So maybe some of the slides are out of order. Maybe that's what's going on here. So we're gonna jump past, well, we'll talk about the maple syrup real quick. I know it's out of order, but this is also relevant. So I know it doesn't make sense. We're talking about health and wellness, and then we've got this picture of pancakes in the middle of the presentation. Why in the world would we do that to you? It's all about quality. So I grew up eating pancakes, loving pancakes, waffles, all that kind of stuff. But I promise you, we were definitely using that syrup, not the real stuff. So when I got to an adult, started caring about ingredients and things like that, I decided to try maple syrup. And let me tell you, you can tell the difference. It tastes so much better. There's like real flavor going on. It doesn't just taste like sugar. These are the ingredients in what we normally think of as like syrup, like pancake syrup. It's not good. It's not stuff that you want. Whereas real maple syrup is just maple syrup. That's it. So you think of your supplements and your oils and your food, even just like that, all things. You really want to use the most pure, natural things possible, not only because you're going to absorb better, but you're also not going to have as much trouble eliminating the things. And you won't see wild, unexpected side effects like cancer pop up from eating real foods. Okay. We'll talk about this too. I know it's out of order, but I'm gonna roll with it. So the heartbeat of doTERRA is all about co-impact sourcing. A lot of people don't know what that means, so I will quickly cover it. Basically, the gist of it is we seek to have an impact that is beneficial for everybody involved, meaning the people who use the bottle of oil, that pay for the bottle of oil, that share the bottle of oil, but also on the other end of it, the people who grow the oils, the people whose family are dependent on me buying that bottle of peppermint so they can feed their families. And then, of course, the environmental effect of what we do. Yes, we're growing plants, but there's definitely a way to do that is not beneficial to the earth, that's not sustainable, and doesn't deliver you a good quality at the end. doTERRA seeks to find the perfect balance between all parties involved, meaning we pay our farmers really well, we pay our business people well, and then, of course, our customers are able to get the absolute best possible product ever. Like, there is no other essential oil that's better than these. There is no essential oil company that's telling you about their chemical profile on their oils because they can't without revealing that they're doing shady stuff. doTERRA is fully transparent as much as is, reasonable and safe for them to do without, I don't know, giving away some kind of secrets. I'm sure they have patents and things like that that they don't share, but we're able to have the transparency that we need. And I, for one, am really a big fan of that. I would love to travel to some of these countries and go take a look at some of the farms, but haven't really been able to get into that too much outside of the United States. So we will go to the next one. Okay,
We're,
why choose essential oils? What did you say, Angela?
we're hoping you're going to join us in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, there's
We get our vetiver from that island. So
yeah.
yeah,
They'll let us go check out a farm. So why do we choose essential oils? They are safe, effective, and affordable. Now, I know a lot of people think that essential oils, especially high quality essential oils like doTERRA, are not affordable, but I encourage you to go back to that thought that I gave you about the 28 cups of peppermint tea versus one drop of oil. That one drop of peppermint might be 10, 11, 12 cents. I'm not exactly sure, but it's not much. It costs you more money to light a candle than it does to use your essential oils. And as far as I know, I've never heard of any candles that have health benefits, but we use them because we want to or whatever. That's to me, this is way more logical and beneficial than anything like that. Effective, we've talked about this quite a lot, but the gist of that is that it's able to actually penetrate through your skin or through your digestive system to have the effect on your body that you want it to have. It goes into your bloodstream, and your body is really smart. It moves it around to where it needs to go. You can even put these on your feet, and it will affect your mood because that's just how oils work. And they're also very safe, meaning we like to joke that there are no side effects, but there are side benefits. So you might take, peppermint oil for your upset stomach, and you notice that your breath is fresher or you have more energy. You never know till you try it. And then, of course, we have the CPTG. So that also helps to ensure that they are safe. So safe that you can eat them. Amazing, I know. Um, So we talked a little bit about the three ways to use the oils. We have aromatic, literally just breathe it in and you're getting the benefit. It's not more complicated than that. If you want to put it in a diffuser so you get the benefit throughout the day of the whole 8 or 10 or 12 or 20 hours or whatever your diffuser does, you can do that. But you don't need a diffuser. If you don't have one, you can still get the benefit just by smelling it. And I like to joke that I can help people with their mood without their permission by being a human diffuser. So I will put oils on me, on my skin and my hair and my clothes, and then go around family members that I know are going to be in a bad mood. And I swear they're in less of a bad mood when I do that. So topical, this is literally put it on your skin. You have a bobo, you have a bruise. I got a really nasty bruise on my butt yesterday, and I immediately put several oils on it, and I really think that it helped. I mean, yes, the bruise still did appear, but it was a bad fall. So I can't be too surprised. But a lot of times, whenever I bump into something that I know is going to bruise, but I didn't like fall down type of bruise, I can put, like, you bump into something, you get a bruise on your arm or whatever, I can put oils on, and a lot of times it never turns into a bruise. Or if it does, it's a very minimal bruise compared to what I know I would have gotten or I used to get whenever I didn't have oils. So then, of course, we have the internal use. This is literally just putting it inside of your body. So typically that's going to be through your mouth. Of course, you can do the other option if you want. Um, and then, of course, you can do it all of the ways from drinking it in water, putting it in a little empty veggie capsule that either you buy from the health food store or doTERRA or wherever. Or, of course, you can just put it under your tongue. So if you have a headache, you can put it on your head here and here, and then you can put a little bit in your mouth and just keep it under your tongue. And that's going to help to reach the brain quite quickly, more quickly than you would expect. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, we're back to the oils. I know this is probably me rambling and talking a lot, but that's what I do. I'm a talker. So hopefully you gain something from it. So the digestive blend is literally just what it sounds like. It helps to calm the digestive system if you have something going on that's making it upset. And you can pretty much think of this as providing a benefit for your entire digestive system. So think of where food goes in, think of where food goes out, everything in between. That's what you're able to affect with this. But you don't necessarily have to take it internally to get those benefits. You can actually just put it on your stomach, put it on your feet, and it will absorb through your skin and get into your bloodstream, and then you're actually able to bypass the digestive system and go straight to it via the blood. So, of course, the cool little fun fact is new and improved. They've added some more things to it that make it just even better. So, it was recently updated based on new research adjusting the essential oils in the blend. So, ginger, coriander, and peppermint play a more prominent role. And these are oils that we know have a lot of benefit to the digestive system. So let's see. MetaPower. We kind of talked about MetaPower being in the collagen supplement, the MetaPower Advantage, but this is just the essential oil. It has things like cinnamon and grapefruit, ginger. I think lemon is in there. Um, Maybe one other one I can't think of. But these are the main benefits for it. It's going to help with your metabolic function. It reduces adipose fat cells when you take it internally. It helps with hunger cravings, and you can literally put this in a diffuser and help your hunger cravings and help you with remembering to eat in a healthier way. It helps to improve exercise performance. It's literally energizing in that kind of a way. And then, of course, it's got an uplifting, sort of stimulating effect. All right, so we have an unpublished preclinical study going on that suggests MetaPower may target and help reduce adipose fat cells when ingested. And that's that top line that we were talking about. But we are, still waiting on more clinical studies. Now, lemon, this is probably the most popular one for me. I use it probably just about every day. I use it for a lot of things, everything from cleaning surfaces, cleaning my skin, cleaning objects. Like if you buy something and you've got the sticky residue from the sticker still on it, you can use the lemon oil and it just gets it right off. You can use this if you have little ones in the house that are using crayons on the walls and markers on the tables and gum in the floor and silly putty on the carpet. You can use lemon for all of that. It really does work. Gum in the hair, I mean, you name it. It's very effective. And of course, natural, so it's not going to cause any negative harm while it's doing all of that cleaning. I mean, yeah, I guess turpentine would probably have the same benefit, but I'm not putting turpentine on my skin. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. Lavender. This is probably everybody's like most famous. Everybody knows about lavender. A lot of people, this was the first oil that they ever used. So you might be familiar with it, but if you haven't tried the doTERRA lavender or you didn't get your lavender literally from France, you probably weren't using real lavender or very good lavender. There's like think like 40 different species of lavender, and they all sort of work differently. Some of them don't really have much health benefit, but the health food store might have it for sale. So you really want to know your source. Mainly, lavender is known for just all things calming, whether it's calming your mood, calming your body, helping you to sleep, and of course, the skin. If you have a burn, an itch, a bite, anything like that, you can put lavender and it'll help soothe it. I've actually had a sunburn that was pretty bad that I was fairly certain was going to peel like quickly. And I put peppermint, lavender, and frankincense on me. And not only did it turn into a beautiful tan, it never did peel. And I was certain that it would peel. Never did peel. But I had this on me and I was able to put it on there really, really quickly. Fun fact, ancient Egyptians and Romans were the first to embrace lavender, and they used it for bathing and cooking and also in perfumes. All right, copaiba or copaiba, as a lot of us just shorten it and say. This is a tree that comes from Brazil, and it's got a lot of benefits, everything from the digestive system, immune system, your cardiovascular. It's kind of across the board very useful. And it's not very expensive. A lot of people will say frankincense is the most universal oil. I'd say Copaiba is also very universal, but it's about half the price. So it's a good starting point and it's very diverse and it smells really good. It has like this kind of smoky smell. I don't know how to describe it really, but it doesn't smell like what you would think a tree oil would smell like. So some of the other benefits here, we have antioxidant properties. It's good for the nervous system. And then of course it's great for the skin, whether you have scars, acne, wrinkles, blemishes, anything like that, it's going to help to reduce the inflammation that causes things like blemishes. And then of course soften some of those fine lines and things. So here's a fun fact about internal support. You can add 1 or 2 drops of copaiba to a beverage for your cardiovascular, immune, digestive, nervous, and respiratory system. So it's like a one-stop shop. It's so good. And it doesn't smell girly, which is another thing that people like about it. Men really can use this one and not worry about smelling like flowers. Okay, now frankincense. This is our king of oils. So this one has a lot of the same types of benefits of what I was just describing with copaiba. So we have that healthy cellular function, an uplifting aroma, so it's good for the mood. And then of course we have healthy skin when you put it on topically. So back to what I was talking about with the fine lines and wrinkles, blemishes, all that kind of stuff. So fun fact, boswellia trees, which is what frankincense is, they have been celebrated for centuries by the Babylonians, Assyrians, Egyptians, Indians, and the Chinese. So that whole area was using them way before we got our hands on it over here. So the resin has been part of religious ceremonies, meditation, perfume, and soothing salves for as long as we've been documenting, using plants and things like that for our health. So Deep Blue, this is our product of the month this month. So if you start this month for the first time with the VMG bundle, doTERRA is going to throw this in the box as well if you check that subscribe monthly box. And I'll just remind you that this is no pressure. Not only does doTERRA give you a money back guarantee, you can use up the whole 30-day packet of this and then say, it didn't work for me, and they'll give you your money back. You can also decide not to order it again at any point up until the day that your order processes. So, pretty cool to me. I think it's the best way to get started. If this was the option when I was starting, I definitely would have chosen this path. So Deep Blue is known for being helpful when you have pain, inflammation, any kind of thing like that. Think of like joints and muscles and knees and toes and headaches and things like that. Fun fact, it's tinted blue because of the blue tansy. And blue tansy turns blue during the distillation process. So it's the plant itself is not blue. It just turns blue when they distill it. All right, tea tree is one of those universally kind of known to be good oils that you see everywhere. But of course, our quality is top notch. So you're going to get more effect or more benefit of whatever it is that you're looking to use it for. I typically use this one when I have like something going on with my skin, whether it's irritated skin, a bug bite, anything like that. And you can also use it to clean. So if you're doing like a deep clean and you want it to smell clean, but you don't want to use bleach, this is your guy. This is what you really want to use. It's so, so, so good. And then, of course, the fun fact here, it was named tea tree by Captain James Cook, who, upon arriving in Australia, brewed a spicy tea from the leaves, thus giving the plant its name. Uh, lending Legend even states the oil was reserved for Australian soldiers during World War II because of its beneficial value. So meaning they didn't let everybody have it. They saved it for their soldiers. Kind of cool. Now, On Guard here, this is another one that is such a powerhouse. It's one that you want to have on hand all the time. It's mainly known for the immune function support, but it's also very helpful for cleaning. So, cleaning surfaces, things like that. There's a lot of studies that have been done on guard that show that it is very effective at not only cleaning the surface, but then allowing the surface to stay clean for longer because it inhibits the growth of a lot of things that are not friendly, like, bacteria and viruses and things like that. And then, of course, it helps to support the body's natural antioxidant defenses, meaning it helps you to fight off the things that are constantly trying to erode at your body. It helps you to defend against those a little easier. I've got a kitty cat rubbing on my legs. I'd love to show you guys. So tasty treat. This one's good. You can put sliced apples in water, and you know how apples turn brown if you don't eat them right away. So one of the things that people do to help stop that from happening as quickly is put sliced apples in water. But you can add a couple of drops of On Guard to that, and it'll actually make it taste even better. And then, of course, it provides that health benefit, and then it keeps them from turning brown even longer. So I think that's cool. All right, we're coming towards the last few here. We've got Serenity. This is our restful blend. This is good for if you're wanting to just kind of create an environment where things are very calming and relaxing, or you can put it on your body, like on your feet, on the back of your neck, on your chest to help you get into a restful state. And then, of course, falling asleep, staying asleep, those are big challenges for a lot of people. This has oils in it that help with that, help you to not only fall asleep, shut down the chatterbox in your brain, and then, of course, staying asleep once you do fall asleep. Very, very helpful. And this is talking about how you can use it in the bathtub with Epsom salts and things like that. Highly recommend. It will change your life. Okay, so here we are. Breathe. Self-explanatory. It's good for your respiratory system. You can use this literally by just breathing it straight out of the bottle. You can put it on the bottoms of your feet. You can put it on your chest. You can diffuse it. Pretty much a winner all around. Let's see. This has got a little historical comment about ancient Greece. They used it. You've ever heard of the phrase resting on their laurels? This has laurel leaf in it, which kind of was used to help pay the soldiers when they came in. And then, of course, they were getting all rested in their laurels and losing track of what they were, supposed to be doing. Let's see here. The calming blend. This is adaptive. I take the pill of adaptive every day. I love it. It keeps me on a much more even keel to where when life likes to throw lemons at me, I don't react so much. I'm able to be a little bit less like reactive to things that are trying to ruin my day. And then, of course, let's go to the end here. Results. I'm pretty sure everybody is here because they want to see results around their health. So let's talk about how you actually go about getting started here. We have the customer account. It's kind of like if you had, if you wanted to watch a YouTube video, you have to have an account. And most people don't realize this, but your YouTube account is your Google account. It's free, but you can't use the stuff unless you have an account. You can't save it, make playlists, and do all of those cool things that you can do on YouTube without a YouTube account. So if you have a Gmail account, you already have that. So this is kind of like that. If you buy one product, you more or less, it only makes sense to just go ahead and also be a wholesale customer because it's free. It's free for the first year. It's normally $35, but they've waived the fee to where you really don't have any roadblocks stopping you from just going ahead and taking advantage of the full benefit of the account for a whole year. So it gives you free access to the rewards program. Not obligated. You don't have to sign up for any kind of subscriptions. You don't even have to order anything ever again, but you have that option that is open for you because you purchased one product. And then, of course, we have all of our educational opportunities like this webinar. And then, of course, we have our Facebook groups. We do a lot of activity and community related support there, trying to provide free education because ultimately, if we all feel better, we do better, we live better, we're happier. And then, of course, one of my favorite things is the Refer a Friend program that doTERRA has, which allows anybody, not just people doing the business, it allows anybody to share a link and then get a little kickback from doTERRA that you can use whether you want to use it to purchase products, purchase supplements, purchase whatever, or, just spend it. What else? It's a little bit about the reward. So, like I said, if you start with the bundle like this, these three is a perfect bundle. You're going to start acquiring all of these oils. In the first month, so like today's July 31st, if you were to place this order today, check the subscribe monthly box, you would get a bottle of Deep Blue, which is like a $35 value for free, and then a peppermint for free, which I don't really remember the exact price on that one, but it's also costs money. So you get $35 membership, you get the Deep Blue, you get the peppermint. It's it adds up to where you end up saving almost as much as you're spending. And then, of course, you get a medicine cabinet at the end. So this month, we have this little showstopper banner here that talks about the promotions for this month. So I've talked a little bit about Deep Blue and how you can get it for free. The 15th of the month has already passed, so the rest of us that already have accounts, we've missed this opportunity unless we already took advantage of it. But for those of you who have never or who have not ordered doTERRA in a long while, you can actually get that one for free still. And then up until midnight tonight, you can also get 10% off of the Deep Blue stick, which is like the Deep Blue oil, but in a stick form that you can just roll on without having to get it on your hands. And then it also has copaiba in there as well. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 with that one. It's a really good product. So this is the free gift. You can see this little shaker bottle back here and this little spring that goes inside of it that helps make it even easier for you to take your VMG on the go with you if you want. So that comes for free as long as you check that box saying subscribe monthly. They're going to get that in there for free. So the promotions here kind of are pretty simple. We have 3 different checkpoints that typically apply. You have the 100 PV, which is about $100. That's going to give you free shipping, which I think the shipping's like $7. And then you're going to get a free product every month if you order 125 PV by the 15th of the month. And then you have another level, which is to get a free gift the first time you order. If it's 150 PV, you can choose one of these 3 gifts. I always recommend that people get the toothpaste. Unless you do not have a diffuser and you really, really want one, I would recommend that you get the 2 toothpaste because they're really good toothpaste. They have a mint option and then a like spicy option with the On Guard. It's not that spicy though. I think that's it. It's a little over time. Sorry about that, but I think it's time for me to answer your questions. Do you have any
I
questions?
have a couple of questions.
Fire away.
The first one is, I just want this clarification on this. The PB Restore, which is the probiotics and prebiotics and all, but did you also say that in the VMG Plus there was probiotics in there too?
The biotin is probably what you heard me say. Biotin.
Oh, okay. I thought it had probiotics in there.
Janet, you're on mute, but whatever you were about to say.
It does have a little bit of probiotics in the VMG. I noticed that.
Okay,
All the ingredients, because they've got 90 ingredients. So they have a little bit, but not
not as much.
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. But it
And
allows
this,
you to kind of step up, right? If you don't necessarily want to start with the whole bundle, you can step your way up to that. There's nothing wrong with that.
when you were going over the oils, the ATI, aromatic, tropical, internal, I also noticed an N and an S.
So
What were those?
detailed. I love it. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. So the N means that it is safe to use it neat, meaning
Okay,
you don't have to dilute it. It's not going to cause irritation if you just put it straight on your skin. Like lavender, it's actually for irritation, so it's not going to cause irritation. Even typically people who have sensitive skin don't have any issues with that one, but you can always dilute. I want to be very clear about this. There is no harm whatsoever in diluting an oil. You actually get more benefit out of it if you dilute it because it doesn't evaporate into the air as much. So it stays on your skin. You get more benefit of it. if you do that. And then the S is for sensitive, meaning definitely diluted. There's actually another one that you might see sometimes, like in the doTERRA catalog, that is a D, and that definitely means dilute. Like oregano, there's no reason why you should ever put that on your skin without diluting it because it is hot. You will be very itchy and maybe even mad at me if you put oregano on your skin and I didn't tell you that. Yeah, so that's the N, S, and D.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, cool. Well, I think we're good to go here. We probably
I have a question. Are we going to be doing any more upcoming webinars or?
was
Okay,
just
perfect.
about
Never
to
mind.
thank you for
Um,
making sure I didn't drop it though. Let's see here. I am gonna show you guys our list of upcoming events. Get this thing to get bigger. So here is Angela's link. If you want to go to this website at any point in time, to see whatever is most recently been updated for our upcoming events. That's going to be this website right here. It's a link tree. So you can spell out link tree, but then there's a period between the TR and the EE and then slash Angela Amora. And this is where she has a lot of upcoming events here. We've got this webinar will be done again. We've got the back to school webinar. She's got a few things in person in Texas. If you're down in Corpus Christi, you can go visit her, say hello. So here's one on the 12th that we're doing that is all about back to school with essential oils. And then the next time we will do the foundational wellness is down here. That's going to be on the 19th at noon. So those of you who like daytime learning, that's for you. And then we're going to be adding more events in the future. Okay, anything else? No? All right, well, I will stop sharing that and then I think I can turn off the recording somehow.